Hello everyone and welcome to the final round of the World Trophy Series. I'm Lewis McGlade and I'll be guiding you through the action of today, and you join us in qualifying of the, as I said, the final round. Kevin Siggy plops in his time and goes P1. He's looking pretty good actually at the moment, but yes, the final Q1 session, of course. I mean, if you're joining us right at the end of the series, just where have you been? It's been an interesting championship from start to finish, and it's looking like we're going to have just a comfortable finale for the drivers, where the championship's not necessarily on the table, but yes, if you have joined us for the first time, Q1, top 10 drivers go through into Q2, where then it's a hot lap session, but at the moment it's as many laps as you want, and it's the top 10 we're focusing on. And yeah, the championship has all but played itself out in Abu Dhabi. We had an absolutely crazy round of some of the drivers. Just we went in there with about 5 or 6 drivers in the championship, and we left with just 2. And those 2 are Daniel Kiss and Ben Tusting. And Daniel Kiss is 45 points behind, so it's quite unlikely that he would be the champion leaving Interlagos. But, you know, it's World Trophy and anything can happen. There is really only one scenario where Kiss can win the championship, and I don't think that's Twister's plan either. But the only scenario where that would happen is if Ben Tusting DNFs and Daniel Kiss goes on to win the race, which, you know, could happen. There's no saying it won't happen, but Tusting's got a pretty good record so far this year. So as we currently are in Q1, I'm going to flick through the top 10. We've got about 5 minutes remaining. And your current P1 man is that Daniel Kiss, who's done a 1:09.581. That is a quarter of a second ahead of Kevin Siggy, which, shout out to his livery, which I know that he's got a livery and Jackson Vent's got a livery that's slightly different and quite bright. I was told the reasoning, and I will go ahead and have a look at what the reasoning was, but I think it's just it's a big thanks to taking part this season, and it does look pretty cool. Also, we have a Tucker in the server, but he's not in the mumble at the moment. Come on, Tucker, I don't want to be alone. Then we've got Alari Alpus, who's in 3rd position. Christoph Skoa. Why is it that why do people like to take part when it's a name that I cannot even pronounce even slightly? But I know that he's new because I was talking to him before in the practice server a couple of hours ago, and he's looking pretty quick at the moment. I think he was 5th in the pre-qualifying sessions. That's pretty good. And you got Ben Tusting, who is currently 5th. Alessio Campus is 6th. Also, Ben Tusting's just moved himself up into 2nd position. Norbert Leitner is 7th. Fernando Guerrero 8th. Alvaro Torres, who's in 9th, and I've been told that he's running on different hardware at the moment because he's having computer problems. That's what I've been told, and I will triple check that. And then it's Jono Holmes is your current P10 man, and I will flick through the rest of the grid in a bit. But yeah, we had a really interesting round last night. Last night was 2 weeks ago. Come on, Jesus. We actually did have a nice round last night with the World Series, and a championship settled there. A championship will be settled here, but it's pretty much settled either way. And it's also nice to see that Ben Tusting and Daniel Kiss are pretty close. They're 0.02 of a second apart. Also, about Daniel Kiss, because I was told that my pronunciation of Kiss was wrong by Daniel Kiss himself, is that because it's Hungarian, the 2 S's is like an S and an H, so it's Kish. I was told that, but he said he didn't mind Kiss. But I'll Kish. I'll try. It's alright. It's not the worst pronunciation of any name that I've ever done. That goes down to Carlos, which was in the Winter Series. Carlos Martin. It's an I and an N. Don't know how I got it that wrong, but you know, good times. Good times. Looking like the 2 top Twister people, which is Kiss and Kish, come on, and Tusting, are pretty comfortably ahead of anyone else. They're about 0.2 up, so it's pretty good for those at the moment. And it's nice to see Siggy up there. Where's his teammate? Where's Jackson? He's down at 15th. Is the old bright colours. 2.5 minutes left of the first qualifying session, and it's looking like the top 10 could be changing around quite a bit, especially when you consider the top 19 people are pretty much on the same, within the same second, which Carlos Hernandez is the one who's in 19th. I think he's new as well, and he is 1.047 seconds off. Nope, he's not anymore. He's 0.946. So it's such small bits of time that will get you into the top 10. I say small bits of time. It's about half a second for him to get up into the top 10. But there you got Jörg Bashov and Carlos Martin, in P11 and P12, who are really not very far off at all. Also, Jordan Weeks is in 13th. And he's new to this as well. He's someone that I've noticed in other leagues. I actually raced against him a little bit in some other things, and by raced against him, I mean he's a lot faster than I am. Pretty good driver, and I know he can go faster than that because I've seen him do 109s. Come on, Jordan, what's all this about? And then it's Jackson Vent and Neil DeBacco in 14th and 15th. And also, we've got a James Tucker in the server. Is it there? James,
Hello.
there. Hello, you still sound like a Decepticon. It's amazing.
Are you serious? I had net issues earlier, so I was wondering if that would happen.
You make me laugh. But yes, it does. I'm sorry. Aww.
Hold on,
Anyway,
then.
huh?
You just carry on.
Okie dokie, well, I'm going to flick through the rest of the grid, and there's someone who's jumped up into 16th, which I do have the pronunciation of, which is going to go really wrong. He's just crashed out down to T1. But he's jumped up into 16th. It's Milan. I promised him that I would try, and I will in a moment when I've gotten myself together. Adrian Falcon is in 17th, James Sadler in 18th, who actually spoke to me a little bit after Abu Dhabi, which is fine. Then you've got Carlos Hernandez 19th, Leonardo de Souza in 20th, Renz Klopp is down in 21st position, Rando Tam in 22nd, Chris Knight 23rd, Tom Kelly 24th, Todor Pangev, another name I recognise, down in 25th, and Mihalo in 26th. I don't know if Todor's new to this. I've totally forgotten because I've done like loads of other leagues. Now I've all got them messed up, but nevertheless, Todor and Mihalo won't be putting in a lap, and the time is up on the session. Just have to see who's going to improve and move themselves up. Olasayo Campus gets a little bit of traffic, and so he won't be improving on this lap, I'm pretty confident. But he is just in the top 10. He's 1,000th behind Carlos Martin, but is in 10th position at the moment. Fernando Guerrero is not going to put in a lap. Jurek Bashov is on one at the moment. Not sure if it's an improving one or not. Not got the right plugins to tell me. It's all looking good for our final round, James.
Yes, certainly. Just trying to fix any issues I've been having. Thinking perhaps some of the settings I changed to try and fix it probably made it worse. But yeah, excellent poll from Daniel because I was watching the session kind of while I was getting everything set up, and it's very close, isn't it, at the top, as always is in Brazil, and it's definitely a track where overtaking can happen. So anyone who's qualified a bit lower down the grid can be very happy that they're not out of this race whatsoever.
Yeah, indeed. The way the track works is quite unique, and that's why a lot of the drivers like it. It's open to overtaking, and usually the drivers are pretty close, as are the top two, which is Daniel Kiss and Ben Tusting. They were 200ths apart in the end of the session. The top 10 moving on is those two, Kiss and Tusting, and then you've got Alvaro Torres, who I think he actually might be on a lap. I don't think so. I don't know. Is he on one? Probably. He's going quickly. Then you've got Alari Alpus in 4th, Jonathan Holmes in 5th, Christoph Schoer is in 6th, the new boy, Kevin Siggy, Norbert Leitner, Carlos Martin, and Alasayo Campus. And that is your top 10 that will be moving on into the Q2 session, where, of course, they will all be given one lap to get it all right. And as I said, if you're joining us, it's only been 14 rounds, and we're in the final one of the season. But still technically with a championship to play out to a point. Things are looking pretty interesting. It's very unlikely that anyone but Ben Tusting will be champion after leaving Brazil. As all Ben has to do is actually finish the race. It doesn't matter where he finishes. If he finishes, he'll score 10 points and move himself on into the champion of the World Trophy 2013. So that's always a pretty good thing. After a long year of work, when, to be honest, I didn't think it was going to be Ben Tusting. The only time that I ever thought that, he's got a shout, was, I think it was around Britain, or maybe a couple of rounds before Britain, which actually was really early in the season, I think. It was around there, it's kind of like, this guy's got a chance. And, the way the World Trophy worked, with it going up and down with who's got the advantage and who hasn't, it was all over the place. And now he's in the perfect position to take it this afternoon, but the Q1 session is underway, and I did just get a message from Milan asking did I pronounce it good? I've not tried. I'm sorry. Get around to doing it in a moment. It just scares me. I'm sorry. Radivojevic. Oh God, it sounds so wrong. Every time it's kind of like I hear it back and I'm like, that is not how you pronounce it. I tried though.
Radivojevic sounds about right to me.
Good. That one can be thanked to Peter Burlack, who tried helping me before the race. Also, I did have a little bit of help from Sam in I think it was back in South Korea. Sam Jones, our cameraman today, extraordinaire, tried helping me out. But that was interesting. Yeah. And let's have a look. Who's on a lap? I think Norbert is our first man to be setting a lap. And Ampus is also on a lap as well. So it's Norbert and Ampus really the only two people on a lap at the moment. I'd love to see who's going where. Also, I've just noticed that Campus has started. I will also pull up live timing because that would be painfully useful at the moment. And this is the thing, is that this is what I said to myself about an hour before the broadcast, is that you should really look at a track map of Brazil, because I know how it works, I know the corners and things like that. I have no idea what the names are and what the correct pronunciation of the names, so that'll be fun. Daniel Kiss also started his lap. These final qualifying sessions usually get over and done with pretty quick. Norbert does a lap of a 1:10.1. which I suspect will be beaten pretty quickly. I've also been told about strategy people, but we'll get around to that in a minute. Laurie Ampus also finishes out now in his P1 position of 109.932.
This has to be one of my favourite tracks in all of sim racing. This one, it's one I've actually driven myself. As you know, I don't really drive many, and the elevation changes, the real layout of the track, how you go up the hill, up to the start finish straight, undulating, then down, back, you climb back up really throughout the whole of the race, the whole of the lap even. It's really is a joy to drive.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of sim racing around here myself. In other series, mainly because I'm really bad in these cars. But I've driven this track, and even when I drove it, I was really struggling for pace. Yeah, I was off of the pace normally. Maybe a couple of tenths down on where I usually would be. But there's something about it that it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's still really good fun to drive. There's something about the flow of the circuit. And anyway, whilst I was talking, Daniel Kish put it up into P1. 109.674. Where's his close? Ah, there he is. Wow, yeah, that's close. That is painfully close. Ben Tusting puts in a time of a 109.683, 9 thousandths slower than Daniel Kish. And just to point out what that is literally just like clipping an apex in the right way. Just one, and it's just the tiniest thing that can be 9 thousandths of a second. That is an extreme. That's probably one of the closest qualifying sessions that we've had in a very long time.
I'd say it's closer than that. 0.009 is probably
the tiniest thing.
Putting your foot on the accelerator, well, literally a few hundredths of a second before another guy does in one of the corners. That's just the tiniest of margins, and it's what it comes down to at these tracks and with these drivers, because they're all so good at driving now. They've gone for a whole season of racing together. That Daniel Kiss and Ben Tusting are going to be putting their throttle down at exactly the same time in most corners, and it just comes down to who's that bit braver in just one corner. And 0.009 is the result.
Yeah, these cars, you have to be really brave. Also, I noticed that Christoph went 6th position, and the final person to set a lap is running up the hill right now, and that's Alvaro Torres. He's taking a good few poles. He DNF'd, disconnection I think it was, last time out in Abu Dhabi, when you were in fact a Decepticon, James. And across the line, he goes 5th. Now that's a lot lower than I thought it would be for Alvaro. But as I said, is that you weren't there when I said it, is that apparently he's running on different hardware at the moment because his computer's having a few problems. So you would be surprised how different hardware makes a difference on your driving. I mean, I knew someone who's literally just upgraded their computer and now is running at 120 frames per second, and there's a difference behind it and how the car feels. So change of hardware can have a drastic effect in performance, and that drastic effect in performance is put in 5th. So we have our top 10, we have our qualifying grid, and the top 10 at the moment: Daniel Kiss, Ben Tusting, obviously lining out the front row, and then you got Carlos Martin, Aurari Agpus, Alvaro Torres, Norbert Leitner, Christoph Schoer, Jonathan Holmes, Alasayo Campus, and Kevin Siggy is your top 10. And hopefully an interesting final round of the season. As I said, I know some strategies. People are thinking 2-3 stops. I know someone who's trying a 1 stop. So things are going to be interesting heading forward. And we were in the warm-up position. We don't actually have a sponsor video to go to because we're pro.
Brazil always throws up a good race though, doesn't it? It's one of those tracks who, even when perhaps the qualifying goes to plan, but what has to happen to throw up a good race is that the qualifying has to be a bit mucked up or something. But in Brazil, even if that goes fine, you can still race it. It's partly because that final straight, I'm not sure if you said this yet, because it's curved beforehand but it's flat out, it's actually a lot longer than you think it is. It's actually a really long sort of overtaking zone, but because it's curved, it's kind of deceiving in how long it looks.
Yeah, the thing is with that final, it's not really a straight. It's not really a straight. As you said, there is that curve in it. And we saw this yesterday. It was Rob van Starkenberg and I can't remember who it was. I think it was Rodriguez or something like that. And basically what happened is Rodriguez in the Bike Cross SimRacing car wanted to come into the pits, right? And Van Starkenberg went for a move on the inside. And so when Rodriguez went into the pits, obviously he cut straight across Van Starkenberg. Bit of damage there. It was not a good thing to see. It's one of the things I really don't like about this track. Okay, now I love this track so much. I love Interlagos, but I cannot stand its pit lane. I think its pit lane is really poorly designed with the entry. There's not really much. It's just the way it's happened, and some of the ruling behind it. It's a bit silly. But But you know, it's not the worst pit lane entry. I think that one goes down to South Korea. GG.
Well, one day there is going to be a massive crash there. So
Yeah.
it is a bit dangerous. And
Yeah.
there's nothing they can do about it except put tons of that foamy stuff on the wall that juts out. But it's not a good idea. Whoever designed the track at the time wasn't thinking safety in mind, shall we say.
No, well, the track has been around for a very, 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 very long time, to a point. And, well, the pit entry, just, I think some of the drivers have got to be aware of it. And, you know, this is what we were saying, is that what he should have done was forced himself over to the inside much, much earlier, like on the run up the hill, and made sure that Van Starkenberg was passed. I know you don't want to lose too much time, you know, when driving around, but, like, there's got to be a thing of either lose too much time or, you know, be out of the race. It's kind of like there's a lot that can happen. So, you know, I think we've got an interesting race lined up for us, strategy-wise and driver-wise. I mean, this is the thing, is that most of the drivers love this circuit. I know drivers who didn't, who don't, but I think most of them just there's something about this circuit, something about the flow that most of the drivers can get into, and it is the fact that, you know, there is this wonderful flow to it, and there's the fact that there's the undulation. It goes up and down a hill. It feels alive, and man, you can overtake on this track. Like, seriously. Defending is hard. Overtaking is somewhat hard, but it's easier than on most tracks. There's something about it, and it just works.
It feels like you're going somewhere. I always thought it feels like you're actually travelling, which is obviously odd on a circuit which goes round and round. But it does feel like you're going somewhere. Perhaps because you actually genuinely go up and down a hill. The only other circuit which I think really feels like that is probably Spa. That's obviously a driver's favourite as well. Just talking championship for a second, and I know that Tusting, all he has to do is finish, I believe, in order to win the championship today. But last year at this very race, he did retire after with only 5 laps to go with an engine problem. So anything can happen. You know, don't count your chickens yet, Ben Tusting, because anything can happen if Daniel Kiss is there to pounce and win the race.
Yeah, I think though we were discussing this last time out that it was Twister's goal to have Tusting as the champion by the end of it, and you know that goal is all but achieved. The thing is because of the way the points work in this, is I think off the top of my head, if he'd have DNF with 5 laps to go, he would still score the 10 points. I think. Top of my head, I think he would still score the 10 points, which means that he would still be champion. It's just the thing is there's only one scenario that has to play out between those two drivers that would mean that Kiss is the champion, or really that Tusting isn't the champion. And you know, you think of it, that there's one scenario to the hundreds of others. It's really unlikely. We're at Interlagos though, and this is the home of unlikely things. But I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's going to.
It's the home of unlikely things. When did that happen?
The home of unlikely things. I could name you many unlikely things that have happened here. Like me doing well. That was a good one.
Do we have any Brazilians in the field? I'm wondering, because we don't want to sort of Rubens Barrichello type situation.
Well, we'll know when they start DNFing. Sorry, that's really bad.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's exactly what I thought. As soon as the first person to DNF is probably a Brazilian. Just never have luck here.
No, that's always the thing, is that there's never a Brazilian with good luck on their home track. Maybe Felipe Massa's got a little bit of good luck, but you know.
Well, the one time he won, he also championship by a point. So.
Yeah, yeah. It depends on how you define luck. Nevertheless, though, we are moving on into the old race, the final race of the World Trophy. We've done 14 so far. and it's a 15th and final, which is it's a shame. It's a shame to see it go because it's always been a bit interesting, a bit crazy, a bit wild over the championship. But you know, now we can all take a breather and just enjoy the round. You know, just watch and know that really championship-wise there isn't too much to play for. It's all for just how you look, really, and for next year, because a lot of these drivers, this is the thing, is that 'cause some of these drivers are expecting to move on next year, either into the World Series, the World Championship, or even just, you know, keep in the World Trophy. I did hear that one of the drivers is leaving, at least, and that's Jackson Vent. I heard that he was going for a couple of years, just going elsewhere, and I mean, seriously, if you can have a look at that colour scheme, it is just over the top. It is ridiculous. Excellent, but ridiculous. And I know that Siggy's got the same colour scheme. And here we go to the air.
Well, that is over the top. It's a little bit trippy, I have to say.
Yeah, I was messaged before the race that, you know, they've got a different skin, and I was like, oh, okay, let's have a look. Oh, it looks like that. Wow, right.
Yeah, that is odd. I wonder who painted that.
I think
no
it was...
disrespect, of course, because it's kind of like a car, perhaps Singapore, when all the lights go off, and you'd still be able
to. Yeah, I know. I think it was Kevin who did it, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, 2 leaders off from the final pole position of the year is the person who's the first pole position of the year, which is Daniel Kiss. And why is it that I always bring that fact up? I don't care about any other pole position. It was the first pole position of the year was done by Daniel Kiss, and he's taken it again today. Behind him is his teammate and really only championship rival, Ben Tusting. I think they're just going for a bit of funsies today. He's in 2nd position. Carlos Martin, who did very well to put it up into 3rd position. Maybe I should start calling him Carlos Martin. That'll be good fun. Alari Alpus is in 4th position, just behind yet another Twister driver. He's put himself up into the top 10. And then behind Alvaro Torres in 5th position. Obviously won a few races this year and was out of championship contention last time because of a disconnection. There's Norbert Leitner in 6th position. Christoph Schoer is in 7th. Jonathan Holmes in 8th position. Podium sitter last time out, which is a pretty good job for him. Arsaio Campos is in 9th position with Kevin Siggy, and that bright livery is in 10th. Fernando Guerrero is in 11th position. Yorick Bashov in 12th. Jordan Weeks debuting in 13th position. Jackson Vent, the other really bright colour scheme, is in 14th position. Leo DeBacqua in 15th. Adrian Falcon 16th. Carlos Hernandez 17th. Bugger. Sorry. It's Radivojevic is in 18th. Let's have a look. Then it's James Sadler, who again messaged me before the race.
Weeks is just out.
Yeah, Weeks has spun, but he should be okay. But yep, James Sadler in 19th position. Renz Klopp.
And it appears that
20th.
We were right about the Brazilians. Souza, who was in 20th, who is Brazilian, has just left the game already.
Oh.
So it appears we were probably right.
But yes, anyway, quickly through the grid, you got Renz Klopp, Randu Tam 21st, Chris Knight 22nd, Tom Kelly, Todor Pangev, and now I can't read the rest of the grid. Oh dear. But anyway, for the final time this season, the lights are above the drivers, and now they are out. And Tusting's got a really good start there. They're all moving across the track, and it's always a bit rough going down to T1, but I think Tusting's got the advantage. Kiss is on the outside. Kiss is leading. Tusting is still in the 2nd position. Christoph has jumped up all the way up into 4th position. Excellent start from him. Jonathan Holmes up into 5th as well. Alvaro Torres drops a position. I didn't see a humongous crash at the start, so that's excellent. Kevin Siggy also jumps up into the top 7 or so. Alvaro Torres has gone off at going down into T4. He's going to try and rejoin. Yes, he does. Jordan Weeks doesn't look like he's got too much damage, and the gap between the leaders 1/10 of a second. Tusting, though, is under attack by Alari Alpus. It's a Twister 1-2-3 at the moment, and Alpus is just also trying to defend off Christoph. So it's all looking a bit all over the place. Oh, I've seen someone dropping back. I think it was Carlos Martin who's jumped all the way back down the field and is now in 21st position. One mistake early on, and things go pretty badly for you. Alvaro Torres is in 12th position at the moment. He's dropped back humongously. And Tusting just trying to keep with his twisted compatriot. Also, I've seen that Milan, for goodness sake, come on. Radi Vojevic is out of the race as well, so we had two retirements at the moment. And Albus is also just trying to defend from Christoph, who's trying to make quite a clearly impressive debut at the moment.
Leitner got past Holmes there in that same corner. They're weaving all over the straight, don't they? Because there's such a long slipstream to have. I think someone told me if you unfurl it, it's longer than the long straight at Abu Dhabi by a good bit. So it is a real overtaking spot, and it's really good. It's really good how it's done. Of course, the old Interlagos circuit, it's even longer straight, but that's neither here nor there. And then you get the second straight as well. It's such a good track.
Yeah,
look at this furious weaving section now. You just got to follow them, and you can follow, and then that's where you have to make your move. And the less experienced drivers here seem to be trying to make moves here, but now you just got to stay in the slipstream so that you can get that slipstream down the long straight. Yeah, and Christoph is weaving all over the place, and he'll be hurting his tyres doing that. Although he will be getting kind of into the brain of Alari Agpus, if that makes sense. So we're getting into his mind and worrying him.
Yeah, oh, here he goes on the outside. Oh, he's lost it. Christoph is out. He's lost his rear wing.
That wasn't so clever.
No, he's still going though. The thing is that there's a few bumps going down the final, basically the final kink, and towards the first turn. Is that there's a few bumps, and if you try and pull out that aggressively, you lose the rear and you go into the wall. He's new to this though. You know, we've got to give it to him. It's a shame that that's happened. Lost his rear wing. He's going to try and take it back to the pits. And he's also just been pushed off, I think. And he does retire, which that is not good. I don't know who it was who pushed him off. I'm just going to have a quick look.
He certainly did look very aggressive, didn't he, when he was following Alpers through that twisty section. He was all over the track trying to get in his mirrors and distract him. But perhaps he could have been better served of just following behind and a bit less aggressive in the early laps.
Yeah, also been told there was a bit of a crash at the back. I'm not really sure where that was. Sorry.
We haven't been told there was a bit of a crash. We've been told there's been a massive crash.
Well, a massive crash.
And Tam's off. Tam's just cut off by Chris Knight.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's all going on at the back right now.
Yeah, it is all going off at the back indeed. And that was not good. But I saw what happened to Sco. He was just a little bit too much on the grass when he put on the brakes, and with no rear wing, the rear of the car was just like, no. Shame for Jackson Vent in his last race, down in 22nd position at the moment, a long way off the lead. And we've seen a few moving around at the moment. We've got Sadler in the pits, Renz Klopp in the pits as well, which means Kelly's moved up into 17th position. Chris Knight goes very wide at turn 1. But yep, a couple of pits at the moment. Let's have a look. Let's have a flick through your top 10 at the moment. As we do, Daniel Kiss 9/10 ahead of Ben Tusting, who's 9/10 ahead of Alari Alpus, who is most certainly not 9/10 in front of Norbert Leitner, who's I think about 4/10 of a second between those two. Then it's Jonathan Holmes, who's dropped back a little bit in 5th position. Jordan Weeks trying to make himself a bit more impressive and moving his way up. He's in 6th position at the moment, doing a very, very good job. Kevin Siggy is in 7th position, Neil Debakwa in 8th, Adrian Falcon in 9th, and Todor Pangev is in 10th, which, considering he's come from the back of the grid, that's an excellent drive at the moment to put him up into 10th position. And also, something that I thought about and I asked beforehand, because apparently I'm really bad at this, according to some people, so I did a little bit of research. And apparently some of the drivers are looking to do a 2 and 3 stop. I think 2 stops probably the best strategy for some, but obviously if you're new to this, there's no tyre rule here really. It's run what you want for how long you want, really.
How long you can, perhaps.
Yeah, for how long you can. Yeah, you can go hard, soft if you really want to, but I would recommend not doing that many soft stints. No, Norbert Laitner trying to attack 4th position. But what I was interested in was Daniel Kiss's strategy, which, from what I've been told, is he is running hard. So he's one-stopping. And when I was discussing it with a few of the drivers, that most of them are two-stopping. So he said it was hard, which is interesting to me. A different strategy that could play in his favour a bit later on in the race. Norbert is going to have a look on the inside of T1. Is he going to do it? He is not. But as James quite rightly said, is that running down towards turn 4, he took a little bit too much curb on the inside there, but running down towards turn 4, there's quite a nice overtaking opportunity that opens itself. Obviously no DRS or anything like that here. And also I'm told that Jono Holmes is being under attack from Jordan Weeks. He's going to be late on the brakes through T4, which means that Weeks has moved himself up into P5. Nice little move there. That was exactly what I was just saying about Jonathan Holmes, though, is having a look on the inside. Oh, he's going to do it. He's going to go side by side through 6 and 7. Oh, that is a brave moment there. Jordan Weeks cuts off a little bit and tries to secure that 5th position. As I said, defending a little bit hard around here, but doing it quite well there.
Yeah, definitely. From Olari Agpus, he did take an interesting line just before, or just in that, I'm not sure what the corner's called, turn 12, before that long curving sort of straight sort of thing. I'm not sure quite what to call it. He went a bit deep there, and that's what put him under attack. And then, even though he wasn't passed in turn 1, puts you under pressure for the whole first half of the lap, because also if you can't get it done in turn 4, turn 6 is a reasonable overtaking spot. And then there's the sort of twisty section down back to turn 12, and then you're under attack again. So that's, you always have to have your wits about you. And look, Jonathan Holmes is going to try and attack Jordan Weeks. He stayed with him, and now he's going to be right in the same spot. He goes to the inside. If he can just brake later, he can't. Weeks outbrakes him fantastically on the outside, you have to say. Impressive stuff from Weeks, but you have to be aware of yourself throughout the whole lap in order to stay ahead of a driver.
Yeah, as I said, I've done a little bit of driving with Weeks. He is a good driver. He's quick and he knows how to defend. And it's looking pretty good at the moment for that 5th position. He's just got to keep his defensive alert up and keep Jonathan Holmes behind. But as we've said, it's a difficult track, this one, and overtaking is completely doable. This is going down into Yuncow with Jonathan Holmes, and it's up this hill. This is what I've said it many times before, that some of the drivers don't really understand it, is that there's a right distance between two drivers when you're going down a straight. And if you look at Holmes now, he was the right distance. Probably a little bit closer would have helped him, but here he goes to go down T1, down towards the centre S's. And he's going to be on the inside, which is going to put him on the outside for T2. Yep, he's going to try and do the cutback though and get the move done down the Retro Posta. Is he going to be in the slipstream of Weeks? Yes, he is. Pulls out. Wasn't really sure where Weeks was going. Looks like he's gone to the back of him there, but keeps behind. The thing is that there's a right distance to be behind a driver, because if you're too close, then if you're a little bit behind, then you'll close up. Especially on this track when you've got turns going up, up the big straight, is that you'll close up too quickly. And then you'll be on the back of them in a turn, and that's not good. That's not what you want. You want to be on the back of them.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, just before you head into turn 1, there's a right distance. Weeks goes wide at 10, but keeps it under attack. But there's that right distance, and knowing that distance is a really hard thing to do. Like Holmes here looks a little bit too close for me, but it may work out for him. Actually, it looks okay. Could have this done pretty well.
It's just about picking up that slipstream at the right moment, isn't it? It's about passing the car at the right moment, coming alongside at the right moment. I'd say just as you cross the start-finish line is probably the best time. Weeks defends the inside and makes Holmes go on the outside. However, Holmes is going to get a good drive. Although Weeks, yeah, he was clever there. He just hung up a bit on the apex, and that stopped Holmes from getting the good exit he was about to, because he had the outside. Holmes could attack again now into the Descida de Largo, but he's been forced to the outside again. Weeks defending well. He's keeping his own, Holmes, and there's a little bit of contact there on the exit of the corner. Weeks manages to hold on again, but Holmes is going to attack again now into turn number 6. He's been again forced to the outside. Weeks defending hard after getting the pass done. He's not pulling away from Jonathan Holmes, you have to say. And Weeks going a bit deep there into turn 8 as well. And he's still under pressure now. I mean, this isn't really a spot where you can overtake. And Holmes just has to follow to get into the slipstream again, down to turn 1. However, he's really under pressure, and it's weird because he passed him quite easily, you have to say. Jordan Weeks. And now he's not pulling away.
Yeah, the thing is that this is what I've said, is that the slipstream here is quite useful. Weeks not entering the pits, he's just cutting that as he's allowed to. And Holmes is going to go to the inside, he's going to brake really late, but is just not close enough, I don't think. Nope. The thing is, though, is that Weeks could be overheating his tyres. Oh, he's gone a bit too. He's got on the power bit too early, and Jonathan Holmes is through. Jackson Fent is also out of the race, which is a shame for his final race. But Jordan Weeks is in P6 at the moment, as he's just dropped behind Jonathan Holmes. But the thing is that you could be overheating your tyres. There's a difference between tyre degradation. Well, there's thermal degradation. There's tyre degradation, and what basically could be happening here is Jordan Weeks has overheated his front tyres, because he seems to have okay traction. Obviously, not out of T2 there, but he seems to have okay traction. It's just those fronts seem to be overheating a bit. He just needs to keep calm, keep in that slipstream, and then, pounce again. And that's all what Holmes needs to do when he's behind. It's just like a big old match tug of war, is it?
Yeah, it's interesting what you said about the slipstream being really important and meaning that you can follow cars, because it's almost like I'm not sure how to compare it to. It's kind of the Indy 500 maybe, if any of you watch IndyCar. I'm not saying the track is oval-like in quality, but if you look, I mean, there are about 3 long straights where you can pick up a slipstream and can pull up close to a driver, and therefore all you've got to do is follow them through turn 7, 8, 9, 10, perhaps 11, and there you have it. The track's just a few long straights. So I'd say that's the closest thing you can probably compare it to, and that can create these real battles where, especially in sim racing, perhaps, where there's less of a mechanical element, more of a mechanical element even, and it's kind of more, I'm not sure how to describe it. It's kind of less affected by conditions and perhaps mechanical problems, as we watched Knight go way off the track in order to get out of the way of Alcabus. Interesting, but good that he didn't hold up the leaders getting lapped already. But yeah, there's just something about it in sim racing especially, which means that we do get these battles. I remember last year a similar battle, I believe it was, I'm just going to check now. It was between, it was between Suti and Alberts for the second position. I remember it well. They were following each other for lots of the race, I think. And they went on different strategies as well, but they still seemed to end up together, and indeed Suti beat Alberts by just 7 tenths of a second down the line for P2 last year.
Yeah, but no, I know what you mean. It's alright, I do. I watch IndyCar because I'm cool. It's only cool people who watch IndyCar. Also, I think who's pitted? Someone's pitted, or is someone just spun? I don't know. Nope, it's just me going off on one. Don't you worry. Right, Bouchot, where are you? Yorick. And it's Neil behind. Right, there we go. That's the position change.
You were right. Weeks pitted.
Right, okay. There we go. There was something, and I knew it. I knew it deep down.
You had a feeling.
I had a feeling. Neil the back row's gone on the inside. He spun. Oh, that is some really squidgy bum time. He's just come out in front of Carlos Hernandez. That is wrong. Sorry, Neil, but that's wrong. And he's lost it again. Oh. Poor. That is scary. He gets well out of the way of Jordan Weeks, but that car, that was not good to see. Also, I think Carlos Hernandez is going to be. I saw a front wing. I'm not really sure whose it was. It wasn't Carlos Hernandez. It wasn't Weeks. It was Carlos Martin.
Seems to have his.
Oh, Carlos. No. Oh, poor Carlos. Carlos.
Sound genuinely sad for that. You sound genuinely sad.
I know.
I've never heard a potato sound like that before.
Oh, poor Carlos. I like Carlos. Nice guy. Anyway,
I'm sure. Just moving on. Jonathan Holmes has to get in some good laps now, because Weeks been the first to pit like that. is certainly going to undercut him. And in fact, the drivers ahead should probably watch out a bit, because the tyres here, I mean, it's not the hardest one, is it? But you can get some interesting problems, especially if, like Holmes, you were following someone for a few laps.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. He really needs to put in the good laps at the moment. And the thing that I would say is that I would not want to be going wheel to wheel with Jonathan Holmes at the present moment in time, because his ping is through the roof. It was about 500 a minute ago, and it's now about 250. And really, when you want to go wheel to wheel with someone, you want the ping to be a bit lower than that. But if you don't know, what that means is that basically it's how laggy they look. Someone looks really laggy.
250 is through the roof.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's like my new ping there.
Come on, mate. Come on, get with it. 250 is through.
Yeah.
When you're doing sim racing, is that you don't want to be going wheel to wheel with someone with like 250 ping. It's especially in these high speed cars. It's just
Hernandez has pitted, by the way. Just to interrupt you a second there.
Yes, he has indeed. Carlos Hernandez into the pits. Yorick. Yorick Bashov. Why I brought on Yorick Bashov, but I think he's got to pit as well, because he's going to come under attack from Jordan Weeks, who is now back into the top 10. And also
interestingly, Tusting is right on the back of
God,
Daniel
I was
Kiss.
literally just about to point that out. I was literally,
right.
James. God.
I was just wondering whether perhaps Twister will let Daniel Kiss win this race, because they let Tusting win last time as part of a kind of team order, in order that Tusting would only have to finish today to win the championship. So I wonder if Tusting will do the good thing back and perhaps let Daniel Kiss take the win today. Because that would probably be the right thing to do, I should think, although, because Kiss did look like the faster driver last time out in Abu Dhabi, didn't he? We all thought he was probably faster and was just being the good teammate. So perhaps now Twister will repay him.
Well, I asked Kiss. Well, I didn't ask Kiss directly about this, but he said, I said that, are we going to get a really good duel for the lead today? And he said that it's open between the two of them, basically. So, who's faster wins, basically. Which is what I wanted. I want a good fight for the win. And hopefully that's what we're going to get. They're within a second of each other now. It looks like Tusting's closing in. Also, I did notice that James Sadler entered the pits as well as they were going past. He is currently in 19th position. And is a lap down. Where's Jordan Weeks? Jordan Weeks has got past Yorick Bashov and is in 9th position. Alvaro Torres, has he pitted yet? No. Oh yeah, of course he had a couple of really bad laps earlier on in the race. I actually think he might have pitted, because he has a random 11-second slower lap, so he might have pitted on lap 3 really early with some damage. Either way, he is in 8th position.
I certainly think with the championship how it is, I don't think that Ben Tusting is in a position to make take any risks whatsoever, because if say, just a hypothetical situation, he tries to go past Daniel Kiss, tries a little too hard, puts it into the wall, has to retire, Daniel Kiss goes on to win the race, then Daniel Kiss does win the championship. Let's make that clear. It's not completely over yet. So Tusting is the one with everything to lose right now, and so Tusting, if he's going to race Daniel Kiss, he's going to race him extremely carefully. Well, he should race him extremely carefully. If he doesn't, that's not such a good idea, because Kiss has nothing to lose, really, except back to his teammate, and Tusting has everything to lose right now, so he does need to be careful if he wants to go racing for the lead.
Yeah, there's always something about having a championship scenario to play for, and unfortunately, as a driver, never been in that situation. Not been driving for long enough to put myself in that situation. But there's something about it when, as a commentator, you get that vibe that one driver has nothing to lose and the other has everything to lose, and it's really different. It's really, really, really different. Also, I've just got it through that Norbert Lakener is into the pits, and that was from fourth position, something like that. Yes, it was from 4th, and so he's dropping down the order now. Comes out behind Yorick Bashov, I think, and that was a long stop for Norbert. So, interesting that he'd have that much of a long stop. Probably a bit of damage on that car. Which
so
is a shame
already we're seeing some different pit strategies. Like last time out in Abu Dhabi, we had people doing 1, 2 and 3 stops, didn't we?
Yeah.
But certainly, I do think there should be a reasonable contingent of the field that do 3 stops over 2 stops. And that should make for a really fascinating sort of last quarter of the race as all the strategies kind of come together, if you know what I mean. They all kind of regroup again on track, and some people have slightly newer tyres, trying to make passes. So this race should all... It's gonna be one of those ones I sense where they all spread out and then all come back together at the end, kind of thing.
Well, if my thing is that if the Twister drivers are following the strategy that I think they might be, is that they are going to be in a very, very comfortable situation towards the end of the race, which is if... I mean, I was told that Kiss was doing the hard, I don't know if Tusting, I would assume Tusting and Alari probably following it as well, and Weeks is in a battle as well. Yes, he is going down the inside of Pavara Torres down to T1, and he's gotten through nice and comfortably, gets back onto the defensive line, hits the apex, and pushes his way through into 7th position. Next target is... So look, is Adrian Falcon, who is just in front, and wow, I've just seen a few cars lagging out on my screen, flying across the track, but Adrian Falcon is the next target for Jordan Weeks, and then the car in front of that is James Sadler, who is a lap down. And now
He looks impressive, Jordan Weeks, doesn't he?
He is.
He's, apart from that one small mistake against Jonathan Holmes, he's looked like he's really confident at overtaking, confident at defending.
Oh,
He's looked like, just as I say that, I've just cursed him, and there's that Sadler there,
Yeah.
who was a lap down, that's a terrible shame. That's a real shame for Jordan Weeks. A great race so far. He was in the pits early and making up time to try and pass Holmes and perhaps even Albus on the track, and now that's happened. That's a real shame.
That was...
he did lose his front wing, yes. He's sliding all over the place.
That was a miscommunication, really, between Weeks and Sadler, and it's a real big shame for Jordan Weeks. And quite the mistake from James Sadler, and into the pits Weeks goes, which is a huge, huge shame.
Looks like perhaps a kind of, without making any comparisons directly between the actual drivers, it looks like a kind of Schumacher-Coulthard sort of situation where he just came up on him a bit too fast. Perhaps Sadler wasn't really expecting Weeks after just being passed by Falcon. He was all kind of out of sync, it seemed. And, he just wasn't expecting Weeks to come up so fast.
And Sadler is out of the race. Huge shame for Jordan Weeks. I'm
completely
sure.
mucked up his strategy, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be hearing about it tomorrow. Good times, but no, Jordan Weeks. Big shame. Still quite a lot to come back for and play, and I'm fairly confident there's someone in the standings that he really wants to at least beat, which is Mikey Bell, someone who he's done a little bit of racing with, and he scored 10 points last time and couldn't appear today, but fairly confident that's a target for Jordan Weeks. So there's still that thing. Finish the race, get the 10 points, move yourself up a little bit in the standings.
You can come back from this. I mean, there's certainly drivers that are beatable today. You can get more than 10 points, I think.
Yeah, it's a shame when you get a miscommunication like that, and these things happen. You get a miscommunication from two drivers.
Burlak last year is the biggest example I can think of. In Montreal, crashing into the back of, I forget who it was. It was a lap car, about 3 laps to go, and he finished the race with 3 wheels. He was leading by a good amount, 20 seconds.
Yeah, I heard about this.
He lost the race by a bit. That was perhaps the best example of lapped cars getting away. And of course, these guys aren't professional F1 racers at the end of the day. They're not. I mean, even in F1, we see it go wrong with lap cars. Didn't we? Remember Vettel, perhaps in, I believe it was Malaysia, crashed into the back of a HRT or something like that.
Well, that was a lapped car off the top of... Was it a lapped car? Oh no, it was. I'm aware of which one you mean. Yeah.
Assume a HRT is a lapped car.
No, it was a lapped car. The HRT had an accident with Button when he wasn't a lapped car. But no, I know which one you mean. Where Vettel thought that he was a little bit more ahead than he was, went back onto the racing line, got a rear puncture.
Yeah, so we even see problems. We even see problems with communication errors and such with lapped cars in real F1. So you can't blame these drivers who aren't professional racers for getting it wrong some of the time. And I'm sure James Sadler will be feeling pretty upset with himself right now.
Yep, I know. I'm receiving the messages. But I will bet yourself that Sadler hasn't been racing for a very long period of time in sim racing, and you will make silly mistakes like that, and it's just a huge shame that the things like that happen. It's something to learn from, and you can't blame anyone else other than Sadler for it. That's the only way you've got to look at it. As a commentator, we have to basically outright state is that it was Sadler. As
but just a misjudgment, really.
Yeah.
Just watching on board with Torres following Falcon. This is for 6th place now, and Torres was right up the inside in turn number 10. But now he dropped back a little bit, and he got that perfect distance that you were talking about. And he's going to pull out, but he just didn't seem to have the straight line speed there down into the centre S's. That was interesting. He looked like the perfect distance, as you would say, Lewis. But then he didn't seem to have the straight line speed to get alongside down the. I know it's not Warren, but the curving straight. Look, again into turn 4. Torres doesn't seem to have a lot of straight line speed here today, so perhaps that's a setup issue.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There's sometimes it's just a slight. There's always the perfect distance that we've said about. But if you don't have the right setup to do overtaking, then that perfect distance is just a bit useless. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt there, but Torres, he must have done something to this car setup where he's gone for more grip over less straight line speed, because he's so close to him in the twisty section. He's literally up his gearbox. He's almost losing his rear wing on the back of Adrian Falcon. But now he's very close behind, and it looks like he can't pick up the slipstream really.
Yeah.
Look, he's not. Is he going to pull out this time? Maybe he was closer this time. He's going to pull out, and he's really late on the brakes.
Nice
Excellent
job.
pass from Torres. I mean, if you don't have much straight line speed, that's what you've got to do. You've got to be late on the brakes, and you've got to be daring to put your car there. To be fair to Falcon, he gave him the room to do it, and that's a really good pass from Alvaro Torres. He's going to be right under attack again because he doesn't have that line speed.
Yeah, he has to keep ahead before T4 because as you were saying, it was a good observation, which is correct. He's running a higher downforce setup, which means that through this section here is that he should gap pretty nicely, pretty comfortably, which is good for him. And also, I just thought I'd retake the battle for the lead, which isn't really a battle at the moment. It's 1.2 seconds between the two of them. And I expect these two, based on the strategy that I think they're running, to pit in about 4 laps time. 3 or 4 laps time I expect them to pit, so...
Siggy is in 5th, Fulton in headaches all round.
Yeah? Oh, that colour scheme. Cool. Jesus.
I'm not sure what we can say about it, really.
It's bright.
Bright, yes. Fluorescent.
Yes.
Radioactive.
Radioactive. That is a good one.
It looks like kind of a superhero costume from the 1960s. That's what I think.
It's really bright. I like it though. I like it. It stands out. It stands out.
That is one thing you can say about it. It does stand out. Where's his teammate? Did he
his teammate unfortunately DNF'd a little bit earlier on in the race.
Bent was his teammate, was he?
Yeah, unfortunately.
That is a shame. Won't be getting a double headache.
But Kevin's looking like he's running in a bit of clean air at the moment and a bit comfortable. You know how I said it was going to be 3 or 4 laps? Well, it's not going to be 3 or 4 laps. Daniel Kispit's right about now. And will probably jump himself a little bit down the order, but not too far. I reckon he'll come out just in front of Holmes. Neil Tobacco is also out of the race. Also, this is something that I didn't bring up earlier. Thank you, World Trophy, because we actually have a really big grid, and they didn't have this in the World Series yesterday. They only had about, 14 drivers. I'm glad that we have a big grid.
As am I. It's good to see a lot of drivers taking part and really wanted to enjoy the final race of the season. Unfortunately, we've had a few retirements, but it's still going strong. And like you say, Kit's out in a lot of clean air, and that's really good for his attempts at winning the race. Because if he'd been a second slow in his pit stop, he'd been behind Holmes. And although they are teammates, I'm not sure if Holmes would have let him buy too easily. So
No.
it's really
No, I
good
wouldn't.
for Kiss.
I wouldn't
Really
have said
good
that.
Really good for Kiss to get out in all that clean air, and it should allow him to defend his lead now because he's actually got newer tyres and twisting as well. So I think it's a good move from Kiss to come in a bit early.
Yeah, well, you got Kiss there in third, and behind him Holmes, and behind them on track is Jordan Weeks. Obviously with the incident earlier on, and this is going to be absolutely infuriating to see two people who you might have been able to battle with. Also, we're told that Tusting has come in as well, and this is going to be interesting. But I think Kiss is going to get a nice clean lead over Ben Tusting. Yes, you look at that, it's humongous at the moment. But this is going to be irritating for Weeks because you're looking at them going, I could have been battling with these people, but no.
Especially that situation where you have a problem, you fall back, and then you're running with, say, the leaders, and you find you're just as fast as the leader.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
Yeah,
That
Holmes.
makes you feel so annoyed that you have the pace, but you just can't do anything with it now. And yeah, like you say, Holmes, we believe, has pitted.
Yes, Holmes has pitted and dropped down to fourth position just in front of Adrian Falcon, and now it's Twisters all over the top four, and Alari Alpus is your current leader. But I mean, I think most drivers have been in a situation where in sim racing you've had a race not go very well, and you've come out with a driver, a lapped, someone who's who has lapped you. And it's happened to me. It happened in Spa with a good friend of mine, Mike Bell, in a different series. And I'm just looking over at him, going like, seriously. And yes, Laurie Alpus has also been into the pits and comes out behind lap driver of Jordan Weeks. But and I'm looking over to him, going like, seriously, I'm faster than you. Why did this have to happen to me? Like, I am faster than this guy, and I can't get past him because I'm a lapped car. And it's kind of it's awkward like that. It's just awkward. You're tripping over yourself quite a bit.
Probably distracting him as well.
Yeah, and it's not a comfortable situation. Also, Kevin Siggy has not been into the pits. Who was Adrian Falcon, who's been into the pits, along with Alceo Campos, who nearly had a little bit of an incident in the pit lane between the two of those. Adrian Falcon comes out in 8th position. It's a Twister top 4 at the moment, which is pretty good for those.
If they didn't think they could improve on their 1, 2, 3 last time, think again, because they're 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. So that would be an impressive result for Twister dominance in the World Trophy.
I think also is that they are the only Twister cars here, I believe. I don't see another Twister affiliate car. So the top 4 are the only Twister.
The Twister drivers that are there are doing a brilliant job, and it shows, doesn't it? I mean, people complain about Twister being. People in the past have complained about Twister being too good in the World Championship, that sort of thing. But when they have this sort of development driver program, it's clearly unrivaled by anybody else, and they're doing such a good job, aren't they, Twister, and snapping up all these great, promising drivers, and it's showing here and last race out in Abu Dhabi where they finished 1, 2, 3. Yeah,
it's always going to be a bit interesting because they're a good team. They're a good, solid team, and the people inside there, some of them are quite likeable as well, and that's always good. Because I mean, this is the thing: is that some teams aren't really liked, and I'm not talking about anyone in FSR. Team-wise, because I think most of the top teams are generally quite liked by others in the paddock. Some maybe not. It's a bit. It's nice to see that we have a team that are fully liked. Also, I'm being told that Bashov is going to come under attack. He is indeed by Alceo Campos. But yeah, it's nice to see a team that is actually liked, that are doing extremely well.
Yeah, some people do have their strange reasons, but Bashov, like you say, has been defending from Campos for a little while now, and Campos is one of those drivers who seems to have set up retaking. We saw earlier in the race, a little bit early, he made a pass on, I can't remember who it was. He seemed to have the straight line speed down into turn number 1. Let's see if he can replicate that here.
He's in the slipstream right now. He's going to pull to the inside, and can he be late on the brakes? Bashov gives him a wide berth. It's very kind of Bashov, really, and it actually might have worked out for him now because he might have a little bit of speed into turn number 4. So let's see if Campus can pick up the slipstream again. And Bashov isn't defending to the inside, is he? He's not defending hard, and Campus now has his nose up the inside. Bashov really sticks it in there. A little bit of contact, it looked like, but Campus gets the move done. And Bashov wasn't defending there. He was being quite courteous, you could say, to Alessio Campos.
Yeah, the thing is that when you give a wide berth through T1, you tend to be on the centre of the track, heading down into T2, which is not where you want to be. You want to be on basically through turn 1. You want to be on the complete left-hand side, as close as you can to the left-hand side to give you the best run through turn 2 and then round turn 3. And it didn't really work out for him. Whereas Campus was in that position to be on the left-hand side through turn 1, and it worked out there for Arceo Campus. And also we've Klopp is out of the race, as is Jordan Weeks. Let's have a look at what happened to him. Just gonna have a quick look. Oh, he's just lost it coming out of turn 2. Yeah, lost it and then gone into the wall, which is a shame. These cars are really difficult to drive though. So we've had quite a few retirements so far. In fact, we've had 8 retirements, and we're only just halfway through the race.
Yeah, I mean, that big grid, that is one of the what's the word, consequences of having a big grid, is that you're likely to have a lot of retirements. But still, there's still 11 cars running on the lead lap, which is excellent to see. How many actually running? 13 or 14 perhaps. Oh no, Tom Kelly is still running down. So 15 cars still running, so that's always good to see. That's perhaps as many starters as you got in the World Series yesterday, would you say?
Yeah, I think there was. I think it must have been 15 starters last time out. 13 starters in the World Series.
Well, there we go. So that means that although we've had a big grid, we've had a few retirements, it's still ending up with more drivers actually racing at this point in the race than we would have if we'd had a smaller grid. So excellent, all the people have turned up.
Yeah, I was really worried about this because I was kind of like, are we not going to get a full grid? I want a full grid. Come on, give me a full grid. And we've got one, which is excellent to see. And it's a shame that so many people have DNF'd so far. But nevertheless, your current top 10, because I thought why not flick through it, is Daniel Kiss. Sorry about this. Kiss, who's in first position, Ben Tusting in second, Alari Algpus in third, and Jonathan Holmes in fourth, rounding out top 4, which is all Twister. But behind him is Alvaro Torres, about 8 seconds back. So that's a long way back to Alvaro Torres. And it's Kevin Siggy. Adrian Falcon is in 7th, Alessio Campus 8th, Jurek Bashov 9th, and Carlos Martin is in 10th.
Knight, look at Knight, Chris Knight. Sorry to interrupt your top 10, but look how he's stranded there. You just get a shot of that.
Yeah, I saw that indeed. I had this coming out of the pit lane. I was just like, I was joking about it with Carlos. He was like, if you can do 5 laps on a controller in these cars without spinning it, good laps, then I will, major respect. So I went out the pit lane, and when he sent that message, I kind of stopped. I was like, right, I'll respond to this message. Got the car stuck on a curb. Excellent.
Yeah, there's something about that curb, isn't it? I think we've seen a curb in Interlagos before do that in SimRacing. I forget exactly when, but it's something about these curbs. They're just the right height to beach a car, like kind of beach whale.
Yeah, they are just the right kind of curb to beach your car, and it's not very good. And actually, why not? I'll flick through the entire grid, because why not? Also, I've noticed that the faster than speed have 2 Carloses, which is Carlos Martin and Carlos Hernandez, and they're running pretty close on track. And then I need to pull up my pronunciation. It's Vicentijevic. Right, Vicentijevic is Mihailo.
Is it not Vincentovic?
It could be. It could be. But I'm terrible at pronouncing things.
Carlos Martin has just spun, and he's going to let Hernandez past him.
Oh.
So that was interesting. Carlos, of course, having those problems earlier.
Oh, yeah, he was his front wing earlier, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. That's right. And now he's just been passed by his teammate, who was also having problems. Hernandez, wasn't he? I seem to remember, or perhaps he's just been slow.
Yeah, It's not been a good day for Fast and Speed. Let's Mihalo. Let's go with Mihalo. Sorry, Vicentievich. Oh, it sounds so bad. But he's in 12th. Behind him, Todor Bankev. Hopefully he doesn't find any anti-cuts. Lol, that's a joke he might understand. Norbert Leitner is in 14th position. Tom Kelly is in 15th. Rando Tam in 16th. And Chris Knight is in 17th position. Also, from what I'm seeing, is that Tom Kelly and Rando Tam are actually going side by side. Up the back straight, or down towards the pit lane even. And who's going to be
16th.
battle
Always
for
good to see.
16th? It's where all the action is at the moment, and down towards.
This is what they
10-1.
do in F1, isn't it?
Yeah.
They try and find a battle which we're all really not interested in, and commentate on it like it's the battle for the lead.
Are they on different laps?
Both.
Wow.
Oh no, they are on different laps.
They
It's
are on
just-
different laps. Amazing.
That's weird because the gap kind of thing in R Factor says they're both 3 laps down, but then the laps counter says that they're on different laps.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what they do in F1. I find is that Martin Brundle will commentate on the battle for 11th place, like it's actually a battle for the lead if there's really nothing going on in the race to try and entertain you. And I almost find it a bit deceiving, really, that he's getting so excited. Well, I know he can't be that excited.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's any battle is exciting. Also, oh no, it wasn't some spinning out. It was Rando Tam getting out of the way of Jono Holmes, who is in 4th position. 25 seconds off the leader. Wow, the leaders are really gapping and pretty quick. And the only one who's got an answer to kiss in any respect is Ben Tusting. But it's not looking like there's going to be too much of a battle for the lead. Which is, you know, amazing considering pole was like 9,000ths of a second apart. And the thing is that, you know, in the current position, Tusting is obviously the champion. There isn't too much that can happen. And also, apparently, Holmes was complaining. Okay, right, about the pace differential between the load of them. I mean, I've been in a team, where your teammate is faster than you, and you can't work out why. Because, you know, sometimes you look at someone's lap and they're kind of like, oh, well, they're missing all the apexes and things like that, so that's obviously where they're losing a good second. Yeah, and I was thinking about this, going, where am I losing this time? Like, seriously, I'm clipping all the apexes, my line is fine, what am I doing wrong? And it's so hard to explain.
Martin's
Carlos
off
Martin's
again.
in the...
Oh, that's a big crash, a massive shunt for Carlos Martin. We just got the word from Sam Jones, our cameraman, that we were to watch the Carlos battle again. The battle of faster than speed, two Carlos drivers. But that's a big shunt for Carlos Martin there. And that's the third thing to go wrong for him today. And he's out of the race now, obviously. That was a massive crash.
Yeah, Carlos Martin. No. It's a shame though that he's out.
Yeah, he just hasn't had the best of races, has he? He's been having really bad luck all race.
No,
And, what were you saying just a second ago about teammates? And I was interested. I was listening to you. I was enjoying what you were saying.
oh yeah, that is actually true. We got a battle for 7.
Oh yeah, battles for 7.
We do. Outside
go back to
Campus
that.
and Adrian Falcon, and Campus is going to go around the outside through 4 and get it done through 5. Wow, this is
That's a great move.
that's a great move. Yeah, brave stuff from Alasayo Campus. But Falcon is coming back through 6 and 7 and is still side by side. Excellent driving between these two. He's going to try the cut back through 8.
He can cut back again.
Yeah. Who's going to have the advantage? I think Campus has got this one. Oh, Falcon's really close. Oh. Yeah, I think Campus has got it, but don't forget about that straight. That big long straight with a curve in it. You know,
I love how oxymoronic that is.
yeah,
Long straight with a curve in
with a
it.
curve in it. Just there's a curve in it. But running through that final couple of curves, Falcon is closing in. Let's have a look. He's not going to close in enough though, unless he's stupendously late on the brakes. I don't think he will be. So the next advantage that he's got is down to T4. Whether it's actually going to be an opportunity for a move is something that we're about to see. I don't think it is. And something about the setup is that it's not really looking like he's got a humongous straight line speed advantage, and as you can see, he doesn't. Pulls out of the slipstream a little bit, maybe struggling for heat in the engine.
Falcon looks like he's understeering quite a bit in those ZRSs, doesn't he? It looks like he didn't quite have the same turning ability as Campus.
Yeah, well, that was an interesting little duel for a good half lap. Nice side-by-side action between the two of them. That was some good driving between those two.
Excellent pass from the inside from Alessio Campus. He just, Falcon defended to the inside, which we haven't seen. We've seen some guys not defend at all, haven't we? We've seen some guys kind of just roll over and let them pass into turn 4 there. But Falcon defended. But Campus went through anyway. He just drove it round the outside. Some people, late on the brakes, that's how they get round the outside. He genuinely was on the throttle early and really to get past Falcon. So really, really impressive stuff from Alessio Campus.
Yeah, brave. That's the thing, is that this track rewards bravery to a point. It doesn't reward stupidity, but it rewards bravery. And there's a fine line between being brave and being stupid. And everyone knows that. Is that you can go for something like that, and it'll work really well for you, and that'll be like, God, that was a brave move. Or you'll be off the track, and then we'll be like, God, that was a stupid move. And that's the way it works around this track. Is it's either brave or stupid, and there's a fine line between the two.
That sounds like a quote that could be quoted in, I don't know, sort of motor racing quotes Twitter page or something. I can imagine that kind of picture of a driver crashing, and then there's a fine line between being brave and being stupid. Lewis McGlade. That's a good little quote.
There you go. After 15 rounds of this, that's my only impact. Anyway,
I wouldn't say that. We've had some good
fun. Yeah, we've had some good fun. But anyway, to it's not really a battle between the lead anymore, because it's 4.5 seconds between the two of them, and Ben Tusting is coming up to the back of Carlos Hernandez, obviously with his teammate, other Carlos, who was out of the race a little bit earlier on. So basically what we're getting from this is that Kiss and Tusting have lapped everyone up to the top 10, which is quite impressive, considering we've got about 15 laps to go before or 16 laps to go even, before the World Trophy is over. Aww.
Yeah, and it's looking very good for Ben Tusting, isn't it? I thought he might drive a bit of a conservative race today, and he's done that. Having said that, I'm not taking anything away from Daniel Kiss. Kiss was faster in Abu Dhabi, he's faster again today, but Tusting, perhaps, he hasn't been pushing hard, he hasn't been making any sort of risks in order to try and catch up to Daniel Kiss. He's just been driving the conservative race that he needs to. He doesn't want to get caught up behind a lap car and crash like we saw happen to Jordan Weeks, because if he had the same problem as he did last year, and interestingly last year he retired on lap 49 with engine issues, so he knows what it's like to retire around this track. If he has the same problems as last year, then Daniel Kiss will win the championship. Despite Daniel Kiss doing everything he can to not win the championship by giving Tusting the win last time out, Daniel Kiss would still be the champion, and that would be an interesting development, certainly. So Tusting just has to try and get to the finish now. That's his main concern.
Yeah, there's always a reward for being consistent and getting the checkered flag. And do you know what I find really interesting about this? Okay, is that this is what I said last time out, is that Tusting didn't have the pace advantage. I think Kiss should have won that race last time out, but Tusting didn't have the pace advantage, and he never has done this season.
Yeah,
Ben Tusting has never had the pace advantage this season, and he's still the champion, pretty much.
He hasn't won a single race except Abu Dhabi, which is kind of gifted. And I'm not saying that makes him a less worthy champion. He's been consistent. He's turned up, one thing, when other guys haven't, or have had problems. He hasn't retired. Am I right in saying he hasn't retired at all?
I will look that up. Keep going, and I will.
He had 13 minutes in Melbourne, but that's not a retirement. So I might be right in saying that Ben Tusting hasn't retired at all. And if that is the case, then that is a fantastically consistent season for Ben Tusting, and that is what makes him a worthy champion of the World Trophy. Of course, Burlak last year the champion, and he's moved on to great things now, winning the World Series. And certainly Peter Burlak is going to be a fantastic driver in future years. Tusting perhaps not showing that kind of potential yet, but there's always time for Tusting to dominate races and really get that speed. And certainly there's a lot of World Championship and World Series teams that will be looking for a consistent driver of the likes of Ben Tusting, so he doesn't have to worry too much that so far he hasn't outpaced his teammates particularly, because being consistent is a great virtue in itself, especially for a driver who's going to bring home the points for a team that wants to really make a charge at kind of a Constructors' Championship or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you want a good consistent driver, Ben is one to look at. I mean, this is the thing with World Trophy, is that you can look across this year and you can see fast drivers, you can see consistent drivers, you can see consistently fast drivers like Ben, and he's a worthy champion, it must be said. There's just, I think you are right, because I just had a quick look that he hasn't DNF'd this season at all, and his lowest position from what I saw was in Australia when he had a 10th, which isn't that bad. But other than that, he's constantly been up there or thereabouts, and that is what has put him in the position to take a championship. So humongous congratulations to Ben Tusting.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, and he did win that race. I mean, people will say that Kiss gave it to him, but he did win it, and that was the agreement, and he won the race. So I would quite like to if he hadn't won a race and won the championship, because that would be a good little stat to bandy around in future. But there we go. He missed the German Grand Prix, so he has been consistent despite one miss of a race. So trusting, he's definitely a worthy champion, despite, like you say, not having the pace advantage at all on his teammates at any point in the season, which is really interesting considering how well he's run.
Yeah, well, there you go. I didn't know that he'd missed Germany, because do you know what? I missed Germany as well. I'm really sorry about that. But things happen, and this is the thing with sim racing, is that we have other commitments that sometimes we have to do, or things that don't work. Still, he's been top of the game, actually. He gained an extra 10th in that middle sector, not that it really means too much. 12 laps to go. Hang on, 12 laps to go. And then we're over. And Ben Tusting is, I think, now that we've passed 25%, now that we've passed 75%, is that it's pretty much all said and done, is that he is done with the championship now.
Is that so? Is it 75%? So
I think it's either 75% or it's 90%. I cannot remember for the life of me.
If he crashed now, then he'd get 10 points, is what we think.
I think, yeah.
I have to try and get confirmation of that from someone. It's 90% apparently, according to Sam Jones, who I trust with that,
90,
because he's raced in the World Trophy. So right, so that would be how many? I'll just work that out. You carry on. I'll work that out.
It's 5.4 laps off, so that would be lap 49.
Yep, lap 49, which is interestingly where he retired last time.
Ah.
I wonder if that's in the back of his mind at all. Oh, there's a battle going on. Something's happening. Siggy.
Wow.
Siggy has just been passed by Alvaro Torres. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, sorry. I was completely caught unawares from that. Wow.
Perhaps Siggy's car gave himself a headache.
Yeah. That's a nice purple. But nevertheless, maybe Alvaro Torres just kind of really didn't want that in his. It's just like I'd prefer that to be behind me, if I'm honest. And now Alvaro Torres getting a little bit held up by Norbert Laitner, who's gotten out of the way now. But yeah, that was a nice move from Alvaro Torres. It caught us unawares, so seems like it caught Siggy out unawares as well. But Siggy in the final race of the year. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, that wasn't in the classic overtaking spot, was it? Either.
Oh, I think it wasn't down to T4.
Was it? I didn't really catch it. It's just
sorry,
we just got word. Yeah, well, we can't watch everyone at once. And when we do races this way by us in the R Factor server, kind of watching, rather than something like our ID viewer, then it's live to happen. But yeah, Siggy seems to be caught almost as unaware as us. You're right.
Yeah, now Siggy's looking pretty comfortable for the 6th position to round out the final race of the year, and so it's looking like it's going to be Twister, technically. Then Positive Sim Racing, and then Go Speed. That's fun.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Because this is a track which perhaps you would think the drivers would come into it, and it wouldn't be one of those ones where the people, you kind of see that usually in places which is more dictated by car, like Monza, for instance, which is very much a track kind of dictated by how good your car is, and you often see teammates finishing together because there's not much of a difference that the driver can make. But Interlagos isn't one of those circuits, so it's really interesting that we've seen this sort of pattern.
Yeah, well, that's always. I think it's quite nice to see not really a formation finish, but you know what I mean. It's like being somewhat close together. And unless Alvaro Torres has got some absolutely incredible pace, he's not going to be slamming himself on the podium because he's got about 30 seconds to make up in the next 9 laps. And I kind of think that fourth is possibly a little bit out of reach as well, but I'll keep an eye on that. I think fourth is just a little bit out of reach. I think now, excluding retirements, we've got a nice little calm end to the season. We're just gonna it's kind of over to a point, with what a season.
Yeah, and World Trophy this year has been the standout series for a lot of people at FSR. There's been so many different winners for one thing. It's been a really competitive year. When you have people like Bono Huiz, who I know didn't win the last race, but certainly been very dominant in the World Championship. When you have people like Bono Huiz, and even the World Series, it's been good, but World Trophy has really taken, the biscuit in terms of competitiveness, because it's been fantastic, hasn't it? Every race, when you turn up, you don't know who's going to win, and you don't know even who's likely to win. And that's somewhere where fans certainly like to see as well, because it's really enjoyable to turn on a racing series, a sim racing series, and not be like, oh, well, Kiss is going to win this time, or Alpus or Torres or whoever it is. That's always good to see. It has been a fantastic season, and fantastic to commentate on the opportunities I've had, and the racing as well.
Yeah,
it has been excellent on the track, you have to say.
I can't. I can't disagree with that at all. I think World Trophy, the show that the drivers have put on throughout the entire season has been absolutely excellent. We've had an unpredictable championship. You could say, as I said, I wouldn't have thought that it would be Tusting. Going into the championship lead, it's been a bit crazy, really.
Certainly after Zipper won the first 2 rounds, we were all thinking, oh, here we go then.
Oh, Zipper, yeah.
Here's the next Burlack kind of thing. Because of course last year World Series was really the standout series, and World Trophy was kind of dominated by Burlack. Whatever happened, Burlack could. I remember in Silverstone, Burlack spun and still won the race by about 5 seconds. So, last year was a very different proposition to this year, where we've had Zipperly win the first 2 rounds, and we had Schneider win in Shanghai, Alberts won in Monaco, Schneider won again in Montreal, and again in Silverstone. So there again, I remember we were thinking after that, oh, well, maybe Schneider's the one to dominate. No, then Daniel Kiss won, and Torres won a couple in Hungary and Spain, and of course Tusting won in Abu Dhabi. So yeah, it's been really unpredictable and excellent to watch the World Trophy this year.
Yeah, when we were going into Abu Dhabi, the person that I was thinking that was going to get the championship was Alvaro. He looked like he was on one hell of a charge, and he's looking like he was really, really comfortable for this championship. We left Abu Dhabi though with pretty much everything sorted. All the cards were on the table, and everything was just pretty much over. And so it's kind of like coming to the final round and do what you want, really. Just go for it. Just go for it 100%, all you can. And it's been one hell of a championship, and for me, definitely, it's been one of the standout championships this year across any league. It's been completely all over the place, and when you say, oh, it's completely all over the place, sometimes kind of like, oh, like my room's completely all over the place, kind of like sounds a bit rubbish. Oh, my championship completely all over the place, incredibly crazy. That's what you want. You want it just completely all over the place, and apparently, Kelly's engine's blown. So
engines, like I say, last year
Yeah,
know,
I was
testing.
just thinking this now.
Yeah, testing with tyre or engine problems. This is something which can happen at the end of this Interlagos race. You have this long, as I keep saying, curving straight, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And you have the long straight down to turn 4 and now to turn 6, and that could be really tough on the engines. I'm sure Tustin would have been taking it easy though, because he knows what's at stake.
Yeah, there's also it's happened to him. It's happened to him last year, so he's aware of it.
Yeah, it'll be in the back of his mind, and you're right. He knows what could happen, and he'll have been very careful, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's always something about it that when it's in the back of your mind, you're aware of it. It's something which you constantly look at. It's like, when you have tyre degradation issues, you're constantly looking at your tyres, and it's you're just aware of it and you calm down on it. It can be quite good.
Yeah, and certainly we've seen the World Trophy also is a training ground, because that fantastic finish. Were you commentating yesterday on the World Series?
I was not. It was Scott and Matt.
Okay. Well, that fantastic championship finish with Burdak and Van Starkenberg finishing equal on points. And I believe Burdak got the tiebreaker. I think is that right? Or do you not know?
Yes, they were both on the same points, and it was because Peter had more wins.
Right, yeah. So Burdak getting the tiebreaker there, and that shows that World Trophy is a fantastic proving ground, because Burdak he did a brilliant job last year in World Trophy. Nobody can deny that. And this year he's gone to World Series and he's won the championship again. So 2 championships in 2 years for Peter Burdak, and certainly he'll be one perhaps to challenge the World Championship races. I'm pretty certain.
Oh, Alari's spun. Oh, he's in the wall.
Oh, and the
He's lost
Twister
his front
Racing
wing.
1, 2, 3, 4 is out of the window. Unless he can pull something really special off, but I doubt it somehow. That's a shame. Did you see what happened?
Yes, he lost the rear under braking heading into turn 10.
Not under any pressure, so that's kind of odd, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really weird. After 50 laps, for that to happen, it's a bit weird. But he's going to continue. Right? Okay. Yep. That's probably what I would have done.
I can't believe we missed that after 50 laps, which means that Tusting is the champion now. Is that correct? Yep.
That is correct. Tusting is the champion, but Laurie Alquist is just going to continue on and just get it to the checkered flag.
That's 3 laps without a front wing. That's an interesting proposition, and we could see Holmes catch up. Surely, 10 seconds is possible without a front wing, isn't it? So Holmes could be on for a second podium in a row.
Yeah, which is extremely impressive. So go on, Jono. Not that I have anything against Laurie Alquist. It's just
Well, it would
Jonathan's
also be
a nice
extremely. It would be extremely impressive if Alquist holds off Jonathan Holmes with this no front wing. It doesn't look like he will do. Look, he's all over the place. Oh, he jumps over the track there.
Yeah.
That was. He just went through the wall there, and Holmes is going to see this. And I'm not sure if it was the best decision for Alquist to not pit.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be a hard few laps. We've only got 2 more laps to go, 3 more laps to go. Even sorry, no, is it? Yeah, 53 and 54. So we've got 2 more laps to go. Sorry, but
Yeah, these scoreboards have confused us all year.
oh yeah, it's because it's okay. Right, basically, I will explain it to everyone as to why it's so confusing. Is because pretty much every game of all time has done laps. The lap you're on. Okay, but Arfact I thought was a really good idea to do laps completed, and it always messes with my mind.
Yeah, it is odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of useful, because then there's not going to be any confusion. You know how many laps have been done. But Holmes is surely going to catch him. He's catching very fast. He's right in the background now. And Alquist can. I think the question really is, can Twister hold on to the 1, 2, 3, 4?
I think they can. Oh, John Holmes is.
Well, Torres will be challenging, and Holmes gets past him.
Oh wow,
with ease.
Torres is much closer than I thought.
This could be quite exciting going on to the final lap. We don't want to miss the call for the win for Daniel Kiss, which is surely coming up soon, and Tusting, who's going to come home the victorious champion. But this could be quite close, couldn't it? Because Torres is about 10 seconds off, would you say?
No, less than that. I'd say much less than that. It's about off of Alaria
Oh right,
Alpes.
yes, it's 5 seconds. It's 4 seconds in
4
fact
seconds,
now.
yeah.
It's falling as we speak. Sorry, the last time I looked at it, it was about that much. It's falling very drastically, as you'd expect, with Alpus having no front wing, and Torres is going to look to try and break the Twister party.
Yeah, no, I think Torres is going to do it. But nevertheless, heading down through 10, 11 and towards 12. As he heads into Junkau now, Daniel Kiss is rounding the final corner and going to run the long way up the hill. As Alvaro Torres is still catching Alpus. I'll get onto that in a moment, but Daniel Kiss took pole position the first time out and is now another race winner as he wins the Brazilian World Trophy. Ben Tusting comes in behind and he is the World Trophy champion. And Jonathan Holmes, a long way back, is looking like he's probably going to secure his third position. Alaria Alpus now with Alvaro Torres
so
hugely close behind.
This is going to come down to the run to the line, I think, unless he can get past him here. I can't believe Alpus has stayed out with no front wing. If he keeps Torres behind him, it's incredibly impressive. But it looks like going into jungle. Oh, there's contact, and Torres has spun out. Torres is spinning across the grass.
That looks a bit naughty.
What happened there? Alpus just wasn't wanting him to go past. It looks like he might have stalled it.
He
has indeed. Vincenjovic just made contact there. I said that without any problems there.
Oh, shush you.
That is awful. But Torres, I can't believe what happened there.
He's stalled his engine, but Kevin Siggy's going to take 5th. But that looks a bit.
The paint scheme brought him good luck.
Yeah, that looks a bit naughty from Alari, so I think that's going to be looked into. But Kevin Siggy, in his bright colour scheme, his loud colour scheme, as we will call it, is in 5th. Adrian Falcon 6th. Yorick Bashov 7th. Alvaro Torres, even with the DNF, is 8th position, which is a huge shame for him. Alastaio Campos 9th. Carlos Hernandez is 10th position. Do you want to give it a go?
Mihalo Vincenjovic.
Yeah, there we go. Is in 11th position. Todor Pangev, 12th position. Norbert Leitner is 13th. Randu Tam, Chris Knight. Those are the last year finishers. Excluding Alvaro Torres, technically. But then you had your DNFs. Of course, Tom Kelly with the engine blowout. Carlos Martin hitting the wall down at T2. Jordan Weeks doing pretty much exactly the same thing. Renz Klopp, Neil Debacqua. James Sadler, obviously going out when Jordan Weeks hit him. Jackson Vent is 22nd, another DNF. Fernando Guerrero, Christoph Schoer, and Milan. Oh, for goodness sake. Why me? Radivojevic. I always have to look this up now. But yes, that.
You'll probably find it's Radivojevic or something like that.
Oh,
and
but.
He'll be very, very frustrated.
It's Milan. It's Milan. It's fine.
Can I just say what a fantastic and fitting end to the World Trophy season this year, because that final turn there between Alaria Alpus and Alvaro Torres kind of sums up the World Trophy, didn't it? You know, Alpus without the front wing, Torres crashing,
things going wrong very quickly,
and then so unpredictable. Very exciting, very unpredictable, and I must say it was a bit naughty, like you say, from Alaria Alpus. I'm not sure if the Twister 1, 2, 3, 4 will actually stand, and maybe Siggy's good luck from his bright paint scheme might bring him up to 4th, because I'm not sure if Alpus won't get a penalty there.
I mean, the way I saw that incident, maybe Alari probably would get a penalty for that, but I saw it from one angle that was just like. I'm not going to jump to a conclusion there. That's for the steward to do. They can jump to the conclusions. That's their job.
He doesn't have a front wing though, and when you defend like that without a front wing, you have to be suspect, because that was the only way Torres wasn't going to get past. So Torres must feel very hard done by right now. And Lewis, we haven't really mentioned it already. We've concentrated on the race, but I believe you were leaving commentary after this.
I am leaving.
Broadcast.
I am leaving FSR commentary after this. Moving on to different things, which is it's a shame, but that was a good way for us to go out, and an excellent season that we've had. And as me in my current position, You've got to thank. There's so many people that have helped behind the scenes of FSR and behind the broadcast. Obviously, there's been me and you. There's been Matt, who stepped in for a couple of rounds. I think Scott did. Did Scott do a World Trophy round? We might have done. I don't know if
I think he did. Yeah.
I think we did one in Japan. And then you've obviously got Sam and Jarko and Johannes Kunkel, who got me into this position. So there's been so many people across the year that deserve a huge load of thank you. And now that the season is over, we can all sit back, take a breather, enjoy the World Championship when it's on later on this afternoon at about 4:30, I think it is. And then we can just sit back and watch now. What a season.
Yeah, it's been fantastic commentating with you, Lewis. We've had some excellent fun. I have to say you're probably the funniest commentator I've ever commentated with on FSR. It's been good fun. Some classic moments include my grey cars, perhaps.
Singapore. Yeah, Singapore. What a day. What a day.
That was odd, wasn't it?
I think my best moment was hearing your Decepticon a couple of weeks ago. That was good fun.
You certainly have the ability to cope with some interesting situations. put a good light on things, Lewis. So it's been really great commentating with you on FSR, and I wish you the best of luck with whatever you do in the future.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
don't cry.
Yeah.
Sam Jones has just said my highlight was when Tucker came online without any trouble. Well, I don't think that's happened throughout the entire season. So.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of these. Tucker, wake up! Tucker, wake up!
I was awake today, but my internet wasn't actually on. Well, it wasn't working for whatever reason. I was panicking a bit. But if we just do your final driver of the day, then who would you give that to today?
Oh, Kiss had a very good drive. I can't. There's been so many good drivers today. Actually, I think you've had Kiss and Tusting who have been fairly close up top. But then you got Carlos Martin who lost his front wing and then crashed, and then Jordan Weeks lost his front wing and crashed in exactly the same place. If I had to put it on anyone, I don't think you could take it away from Kiss because he won the race in such a good fashion. Such a controlled way. So I'd probably say Kiss.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Of course, I want to give it to my good friend Jonathan Holmes. Getting a second podium, I'll just give him an honourable mention. Backing up that podium in Abu Dhabi with another one today. I'm very happy with him. But certainly Daniel Kiss drove an excellent race to prove that he is a fantastic driver. And he'll be looking to do well in whatever he does next year, whether he goes for World Trophy again, which I doubt, how fast he's been. He's probably going to move up to World Series. And it should be excellent to see him in that. But anyway, it's been a pleasure commentating with you all year, Lewis, and I believe it's probably time that you signed off from FSR.
Yes, I think it is. It is time to wrap it up, to wrap up the World Trophy Series. And as I said, thanks to everyone that's helped out. It has been a fantastic year. We've had a great series that's happened, and maybe looking forward to next year. I will be watching. There will be a way of me watching, and so I'll be keeping an eye on all of you lot. So no messing about. And yes, thank you all for watching, and I'm sure we will all see you next year, or these guys will see you next year. But hopefully it will be another fantastic season of the World Trophy. Yes, thank you all for watching, and have a very warm goodbye.